Hello, I'm Tom Herbert, and welcome to this Accounting Web Product Showcase, where we highlight key tools and features from around the accounting software universe. This time around, we're dipping into the world of charity accounts with Dan Keane, who is new business manager at BTCSoftware. Dan will be demoing BTCSoftware's award-winning charity account software. So let's go over to him now.
And thank you for joining me on this quick demo of BTCSoftware's charity account solution. The idea of this is just to give you a quick whistle-stop tour of the solution and how it works. But if you do have any questions following this video, make sure you contact myself or the support team, and we can set up a quick one-to-one demo. Or if you're already a user of BTCSoftware, we can jump onto your machine and help you out. So we are going to be specifically looking at the charity accounts for this video. So I'm going to jump straight into the software by logging in, and we're going to select the charity from the right-hand side. So generally, if you're not already a user of BTCSoftware, how the software works is we have a list of clients, which you can see here on this grid section box on the right-hand side. And then we have a series of tabs that run along the left-hand side. So you would select your client from the right-hand side, and all the information that falls under these tabs that you have are going to be pertaining to that client that you've selected. So in this case, I've selected my charity client, which is Shark Conservation and Research Charity, and you can see my details pertain to that particular client. Now, if you do have an incorporated charity, you'd actually be able to use this Companies House search to import some of the data directly from Companies House. So if you search here for a company name or number, as an example, if I put in BTCSoftware, you can see I can import information directly from Companies House into my Details tab. Otherwise, if it's an unincorporated charity, you can choose the New Record option in the top left-hand corner to create a client, and then you can manually key it in. These ones with the green text here, these are your mandatory fields in order to create a new record, but there will be other fields which will be relevant, for example, like a charity number. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these tabs because a lot of the tabs do feature practice management details. So if you are interested in looking at a complete webinar or video of all the practice management tabs, do let us know, but this video is purely going to be for charities. So I'm going to skip straight into contact details, which is where you'll find the address for the charity. Now, if you've used this Companies House search, the registered address will come in automatically for you. If it's an unincorporated charity and you haven't used that Companies House search, you can choose the Add option here, select the type of address. You need to include at least one, and then add in the address manually. Once you've done that, you can add in an associated individual. So you can add the individual within the individual view. So if I go to client up at the top here, BTCSoftware is split into two views. You have individuals, which are sole traders, but then also individuals that are associated with organizations, which in this case would be a director or a trustee of a charity. And you could choose the Add option to associate that individual by selecting a role. It might be a director. And then the second drop down is going to give you a list of that individual view that we have within BTCSoftware. So at this instance, I have already done that. I have a director and a trustee already associated with the charity. So that's my setup complete. So it's basic details, it's adding in the registered address for the charity, and then it's associating at least one individual, likely the individual that's going to be signing off the accounts. So then I can move into my tab here, which is Task, Tax and Accounts Production Returns, and this is where I get to all of my compliance. So this is pretty much the bread and butter tab if you're a user of BTCSoftware. Most of our users that are using our software day to day likely would select the client that they're working on from the right hand side, as I have done, and then they jump straight into Task, Tax and Accounts Production Returns, where they can get to work on all their compliance. So I pre-prepared a set of year-end accounts here, and if I open them up, I get into my Details tab. So it summarizes all the relevant information from the Details tab. We can select the correct template, which in this case would be the right one, which is the FRS 102. We have various different charity templates available, and we are working on additional charity templates for things like CICs, CVSs, and payments and receipts accounts. But we have several different charity templates, 5 in total, which include Scottish charity templates. And we do have drop-downs for independent examination reports and audit accounts as well. So we have pre-templated reports that will come into the year-end accounts by just simply ticking the tick box that you can see here. Now, if I go ahead and open up the year-end accounts, that's going to transition me from using the Client Hub, the database, directly into the Charity Accounts module. And you can see here I'm presented with a cover page for the set of accounts. So over in this table of contents on the left-hand side, I have the breakdown of each of the different pages within the report. and I'm going to drop straight into extended trial balance, which is where we're going to start. So you can see here in column J, I've got a prior year. And so I've got some figures into here, and I've got my original trial balance column, which is my current year. So there's a few different ways that you can get your figures into this extended trial balance. The first way is that you can manually key the figures directly in. So if you kind of have incomplete records from the charities and you want to manually key the figures directly against these descriptors that we have here, you can do. A running theme throughout our software is whenever you see a dark grey box, it means that you can manually key the figures directly into those, and then white ones will be your calculations. Another popular method is through the use of journals. So you can create a list of journals. You've got drop downs for ledgers and accounts, and then over on the right hand side you've got debits and credits. I would probably say the majority of our clients tend to use journals for adjustments as opposed to building up the extended trial balance, but it is possible to build up the extended trial balance this way. By far the most popular method is the trial balance import, and that's where we're importing from a bookkeeping package, or you can choose the custom option at the bottom there to import via an Excel spreadsheet. If you'd like to see an example of that, we do have a video of that on the YouTube channel, and we have videos of all of the bookkeeping integrations that we offer as well. So there are 4 online bookkeeping packages that we work with specifically. So we've got Xero, QuickBooks, Reckon One, and FreeAgent. And so the integration that we have with each of those different bookkeeping packages is that you can log into the bookkeeping package directly from within BTCSoftware, but also any journal adjustments that you make within our software, you can also post those back to the bookkeeping package. So it's a 2-way integration as opposed to kind of just a fancy login. So I can browse for a CSV file, or I've got the option to download, and that will actually allow me to log into the bookkeeping package directly from within BTCSoftware. So I have already done this, and again, if you would like to see a video of that in action, definitely head over to our YouTube channel. And now that I've populated my extended trial balance, I can move on to the other data entry section. Now you'll see here, just before I do, under income and from donations and legacies, I have a list, and I can uncollapse this to show you the full list. I have donations and legacies 1, 2, 3, 4, charitable activities 1, 2, 3, 4. So our software doesn't yet know what each of your donations and charitable activities are going to be called. So that's where we go into the other data entry section, and we can give names and purposes to each of these different funds and each of these different donations as well. So I've got a few designated funds in here. I've got a restricted fund and an endowment fund, and I've also labeled each of my donations and legacies. Now we just have 4 here available in this example, but if you do have more than 4 donations and legacies, our support can assist in adding more, or as I've done here, you can group them together. So I've got a list of donations and legacies, some charitable activities, and also some governance costs. And this other data entry section is also where you can fill out the trustee's annual report. So you're entering data into the other data entry section, but it's going to neaten itself nicely into each of the different pages that we have within the table of contents. So there is a trustee's annual report, and all of the information that's entered into here will then form within the trustee's annual report. Now what you can do here is if you have this information on a spreadsheet or a Word document, you can right click and paste directly into the box, or you can just enter it in manually. If you have a larger charity, our software will say a larger charity must ... and then you can fill in those boxes as well. And you've got some additional information and notes over on the right hand side in this orange box to help you out. Now to continue on, not all of this information is going to be relevant for all charities. It really depends on the size of charity and the type of charity that you've got. But in this case, we've included a charity shop as an example. So we've added some leasehold property and a straight line method here. And to carry on, we've also added a grant and a project. So you've got activities and projects in section 11. And then we continue on. We've got a work area as well. This is a default bit of text here that says no employee received annulments of excess of £60,000. However, if that's not the case, then you can overwrite this. And to keep going down, you can see it's quite an advanced template, so you can enter in the information where relevant. I think we also have an independent examiner at the bottom here as well. Now the third and final page that you really need to kind of fill out, and there's 3 in total. You've got extended trial balance where we're populating our ETB. You've got our other data entry section where we're giving names and purposes and filling out the trustee's annual report. And then you've got the analysis across funds. And so the analysis across funds is where I'm taking each of the donations and I'm splitting them across each of the different funds. And so this works manually, so you'd key into the dark grey boxes and split each of the different donations across each of the different funds, and anything that's left of the total donation will be calculated automatically within the general purposes. So if I then change this figure to £2,000, you can see my 7,500 drops to 7,000. That's how much is left of the total donation, and that will go into general purposes. So that is pretty much a basic view of the charity accounts module. Now that we've entered in those figures, everything within our table of contents should be pre-populated. So you can see we've got our statement for financial activities. There's also a detailed statement. We've got a balance sheet in here as well. And then we've also got cash flow workings, which is comparing it to the prior year. Now, once I've finished, what I would do is I'd check the accounts and generate the PDF file. What that does is it looks for any warning or error messages which might appear. Those act as safety net features within our software so that you don't submit incorrect accounts or an incorrect tax return. So a warning is something that you can override as it won't affect the final submission, whereas an error you'd have to rectify before you can move on, as it will affect the final submission. So if I check and generate the PDF file, it's a PDF file as these aren't IXBRL tagged. I'm going to override this warning for the sake of the demonstration, and then we should get a nice message to say the year-end accounts were checked and that PDF file generated successfully. So the next stage now is to move on to a tax return if I do have one, and we have CC600Es for the charity tax return. Otherwise, I would go to the Charity Commission website and I would upload my set of accounts, or they can be posted. So that's a very quick and basic video showcasing the charity accounts solution. I'm sure there's lots of questions that you have, which you are more than welcome to pose to myself, or if you're already a user of BTC software, we do have the support team available. We do have a pre-recorded quick video of the charity accounts software in action as well. But of course, if you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask, and I'm sure we can set up either a one-to-one demonstration or a quick call to answer any questions that you have. But thank you very much for your time, and thank you for watching.